The day I stopped comparing my life to everyone else, focus, social media, invisible competition, highlight reels, and feeling behind. Welcome to Life Beyond Success. I'm Vaishu Patel. I believe no matter who you are or what you do, we all in a people business. Can I ask you a question? When was the last time you was completely happy until you saw somebody else's life? Maybe it was a vacation, a new home, a promotion, a growing business, a relationship, a body, a family photo. 5 minutes earlier, you were doing just fine. Then suddenly, your own life didn't feel quite enough. Nothing changed. Your home was still your home. Your family was still your family. Your dream was still your dream. The only thing is change was where your attention went. I've been thinking about comparison a lot lately because I don't believe comparison always begin with the jealousy. I think it's often begin with the question, am I enough? Am I doing enough? Should I be further ahead? And those questions have quietly stolen the joy from millions of people, including myself. When I was younger, comparison was different. You compare yourself to people you actually knew, your neighbors, your cousins, your classmates, and maybe the person across the street. Today, something was changed. Now, we can compare ourselves to thousands of people before breakfast. Think about that for a second. Before we ever had our morning coffee, we already seen somebody's vacation, someone's engagement, someone's promotion, someone celebrating $1 million business, someone running a marathon, someone standing inside the perfect kitchen with the perfect smile, besides the perfect family. And little by little, without realizing it, we begin asking a question we never planned to ask. Should I be further along? Am I wasting my life? Why haven't I accomplished more? How is everyone else moving so quickly? It's almost as we enter a race nobody invited us to. And the strange part is, most of us doesn't even know who we are racing. Comparison doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it happens quietly. You open up your phone while drinking your coffee. You see somebody standing inside a beautiful pool. Your own home suddenly feels smaller. You see someone celebrating their anniversary. Your own relationship suddenly feel less romantic. You see someone talking about their children's achievement. And for a moment, you wonder if you are doing enough as a parent. Nothing happened in your actual life, but Emotionally, something shifted. That is how quietly comparison works. There was a season in my own life when I quietly believed I was behind. I didn't tell anyone. From the outside, everything looks fine, but inside, I kept measuring my timeline against everyone else. Someone built a bigger business. Someone else reached financial success sooner. Someone seems to be have a perfect marriage. Children were achieving incredible things. Everywhere I looked, people seemed ahead of me. And inside, I kept asking, am I falling behind? Then something happened that completely changed the way I think. I started meeting some of very people I had admired from a distance. The people who looked like they had everything. And do you know what inspired me? Many of them were carrying burdens no one could see. One person had a tremendous wealth but couldn't sleep at night. Another had a beautiful home but was struggling inside their marriage. Someone else had an incredible professional success but quietly admitted they felt lonely. I remember driving home after one of those conversations and I thought, how many people have I compared myself to without knowing their reality? That question for a long time stayed with me and still do because it's made me realize we rarely compare our real life to somebody else's real life. We only comparing our reality to their highlight reels. And that is a comparison we will lose every single time. We see the beautiful vacation pictures. We don't see the argument that happened before the pictures. We see the new house. We don't see the financial pressure behind the front door. We see the successful business. We don't see the years of fear, uncertainty, and failing ideas. We the smiling family portrait. We don't see the private struggle every family carries. We see one polished moment and convince ourselves we are seeing the whole life, but we really haven't. What if the person you are comparing yourself to is secretly looking at your life, thinking the exactly same thing? What if both of you are standing on one opposite sides, believing the other person has finally arrived? Maybe nobody has arrived. Maybe we all simply living through different chapter. There was another time when I compared my life timeline to someone else's. I thought I was behind. Years later, I realized I wasn't behind at all. I was simply on the different path. Life isn't race with the one finish line. Some people, because of parent, at 25, other at 45. Some people discover their purpose in their 20, other after retirement. Some people build successful business early, other lose everything and create something better in their 50s, maybe 60s. Different doesn't mean late. Different doesn't mean wrong. It simply means it's your path. Imagine walking through an apple orchard. Some trees bloom early, some bloom later. Some produce hundreds of apples, others produce fewer. But no one walks into the orchard and said, that tree is a failure because it's a bloom 2 weeks later. Nature understands timing. Only humans punish themselves for growing at their own pace. I think one of the biggest lies we believe is this: if I'm not where they are, I must be falling. But that isn't true. You may not be late, you may be late, you may be learning something this season required. You may not be lost, you may be growing in a ways that aren't visible yet. Root grows before branches appear. And some of the most important growth in our lives happen quietly. We know one where no one can applaud it. I also learned that every person we admire has made sacrifice we never fully saw. We admire the success we don't see, the lonely mornings, the difficult decisions, the failed attempts, the criticism, the fear, the uncertainty. We admire the chapter that become visible, not the chapter no one was around to witness. Years ago, I stopped asking why don't have what they have. I instead ask myself different question. Would I be willing to live their life that creates what they have? That question changed everything because sometime the answer was no. I admire the outcome, but I don't want the price. Maybe I admire somebody's company, but not the 80-hour week. May I admire someone's body, but not the daily discipline behind it. Maybe I admire someone's influence, but not the criticism that came with the visibility. We often want the destination without asking where we want the journey or not. Before I leave you today, I like to share one simple practice that I've been trying myself. For next time you catch yourself comparing your life to somebody else, pause, take a breath, then ask yourself, what exactly am I admiring? It is really their house, or do I want greater feeling of security? It is reality their body, or do I want to feel healthier and more confident? Is it really their career, or do I want recognition, purpose, or freedom? Once you understand what you're truly longing for, you can stop trying to copy someone else's life. and being building your own. Before we finish, I like to leave you with the one question: if no one else's life was visible to you, would you still feel behind? Think about that this week, because maybe you were never behind. Maybe you were simply walking a different path. If today's conversation made you pause, thank you for spending this moment with me. I love to know what is one part of your own journey that you are proud of today. Not because it's greater than somebody else's, because it's yours. If somebody came to mind while you were listening or watching, share this episode with them. It may be the reminder they need today that they are not behind, they only living their own story. And if you are trying to build a life that's meaningful, not just successful, I love for you to join me every week here on Life Beyond Success. Before you make your next decision, lead with your heart, think with the wisdom, leave the people better than you found them. Until next time, keep asking better questions, because better questions create better lives.